The term cellular respiration refers to the biochemical pathway by which cells release energy from the chemical bond of food molecules and provide that energy for an essential process of life. Or, it's a set of metabolic reactions process that takes place in the cell's organism to convert biochemical energy of nutrients and adenosine triphosphate ATP and then release waste product. Cellular respiration occurs in all producers and consumers in the biosphere. No information was found on cellular respiration in the geosphere. The correct balanced chemical equation for cellular respiration is C6H12O6 plus 6O2 6CO2 6H2O plus energy. Energy equals heat plus ATP. This is known as ATP. Cellular respiration is a process consisting of many different metabolic reactions that take place inside the cell's organisms. These processes are able to convert different types of nutrients into energy and produce different waste products. There are different ways you can measure the rate at which cells go through cellular respiration. These ways are to track heat from the cell and the measurement of certain gases such as oxygen and carbon can be used to indicate whether or not cells have gone through the cellular respiration or not. The average length of time during which a substance, a portion of material, or an object is in a given location or condition, such as absorption or suspension. A large natural or artificial lake used as a source of water supply. For example, residence. Land plants take 5 years, atmosphere takes 3 years, soils take 25 years, fossil fuels take 650 years, oceans take 350 years, and carbonates take 150 million years. What cellular respiration does is affect the plants in many ways. Its effects are directly and indirectly. One way that cellular respiration affects directly is by plants converting the carbon in atmosphere, carbon dioxide, into carbon containing organic compounds such as sugars, fats, and proteins. The way that cellular respiration affects indirectly is by indirect CO2. Effects represents changes in tissue transportation in response to plant growth and ev- elev- elevated atmospheric because of the changes in tissue composition.
Photosynthesis is the process when plants and some bacteria use up the sun's energy to create glucose from the use of carbon dioxide and water. The glucose is then converted into ATP with the help of cellular respiration. Oxygen will also be formed, and chlorophyll will also be used in the process of photosynthesis. The chemical equation of photosynthesis is carbon dioxide plus water, sunlight, and chlorophyll, which turns into glucose and plus water. All living things need energy in order to survive. With the equation, it shows every element used to create energy. A huge factor is the sun and chlorophyll. Number one, energy from the sunlight is used to convert water and carbon dioxide into chlorophyll, enzymes, and into sugar. The sunlight energy is absorbed by chlorophyll, which turns into chemical energy, turns into glucose ATP. Number three, oxygen is then produced. Last is used like a waste product, which spreads lots of fresh oxygen from plants. How chlorophyll works during photosynthesis. It is complex molecule of chlorophyll occurs in mostly all plants and other organisms that are photosynthetic. Chlorophyll absorbs energy from the violet blue and reddish orange red wavelength provided from the sunlight. The rate process of photosynthesis. The main factor that affects photosynthesis rate, light intensity, carbon dioxide concentration, and temperature. Carbon dioxide increases the rate of photosynthesis to increase until it becomes limited by some other factors involved. With the process of light intensity, the rate of photosynthesis also begins to increase. Temperature does not affect the process of photosynthesis, but enzymes in the process are affected by the temperature change. It will cause the rate of photosynthesis to change. How does photosynthesis affect or control atmospheric CO2? Lots of plants are used during photosynthesis, and carbon dioxide is used more than cellular respiration. Oxygen is also produced by photosynthesis, lots of it that is spread throughout the world. The final result is that plants spread out oxygen into the atmosphere to provide life on Earth.
In the geosphere, death is affected. Death affects the fossil fuels that are in the ocean. In the biosphere, the death of a body releases O2 into the atmosphere. The formula for death is C6H12O2O6 plus 6O2, and then it changes to 6CO2 and 6H2O. The rate at which death occurs is 9.5 out of 1000, and the time that the carbon is in the reservoir is zero point zero 0.05 GT per year. Dead bodies send CO2 after they are buried. The decomposition releases CO2 that isn't used by the body.
Decomposition only occurs in the biosphere, and it contains fungi and bacteria, which decomposes organic material. Organic material such as animals and things of that such. In this process of decomposition, lots of insects feed on the dead things. So when an animal dies, insects basically feed off of it. The chemical equation for decomposition is C6H12O6 plus 6O2 decay 6COC plus 6H20, the equation known as AB, A plus B. The rate of decomposition depends on the organism since it needs to die. The factors of decomposition is the size of the animal and the weather, which plays a part of decomposition. Once the animal decomposes, it releases nutrients for soil, which is used to plant roots. So once the animal dies, it depends on the weather and how long it takes. The things that lead to decomposition are organic waste collection, compositing, slow graduation, CO2, HO2, and biomass, and most importantly, end products. Once an animal dies, it doesn't really affect the atmospheric um, because it's just an animal dying, and then other animals feed off of it, so it doesn't really affect the atmospheric.